It was the perfect disease we had. Something to argue and scream about. Who do I see about contracting it back? And looking at somewhere it can't get ripped out. It was the perfect disease we had. And in its absence lies a painful fact. We all need someone to drive us mad. What's good? Besides me. I know. I already know. Hello, Zach, Huberth, Manuel, Brown Bear, Cosmera, Fritz, Rodney. I love owls. Nice. Bob, Data Expunged, Max, Diego. Alright, Alexis, Anthony, Dark Shadow, John, Brian, Nerd, Vibes, Emerald, Elijah, Jay. How's my van doing? Fucking awful. It's so loud now. I guess that's what happens when the tailpipe falls off. It's a terrible, terrible van. I need a new vehicle. I'm nervous to buy one though. I know purchasing a car is like it's a big to-do. You can't just like order it on Amazon. If I could just like go into a store and just be like, I want this car, and then just buy it and be good, that'd be amazing. But no. Fucking they try to swindle you. That's the whole point of car dealerships. They're bullshit. Did you get your script done for the submission month? Yeah, well, I don't know. You've got a few days left. It's not a big deal. Also, I don't know. After the submissions close, I'll go through like the last of the scripts, and then I'll go back to doing my own thing. I'm gonna keep commissions closed as well, cause I'd really like to do my own scripts now. Can I buy another tailpipe? Yeah, but it was like a custom job. My van is a really weird story. It's not technically my van. I don't know. It's too much personal information there. Technically, I inherited it because the guy we used to drive around in it is dead, but it's not legally mine, but I drive it all the time. It's a long story. One day shipping for cars. Yeah, you know what? Fuck everything Elon Musk stands for, but at the very least with like a Tesla, you don't have to go to a dealership to buy it, right? You can just order it online. Van inheritance wars. You want to buy a car, but you know nothing about them. Yeah, vibes. I don't know. If I'm going to buy a car, it's got to be from like 2010 or later, and it cannot have a touchscreen. Okay? It cannot have a touchscreen. My mom has a car with a touchscreen. It fucking sucks. Just, it needs to have buttons for the radio, no touchscreens. I don't care if that means it won't have a backup camera. I don't need it. Just fucking... It cannot have a touchscreen. Those are a cancer on cars. I hate them. They're the worst. Touchscreens are terrible in cars. They're a safety hazard. Don't put a touchscreen in your car. I sound like Solid Snake. Yeah, I've already done the Solid Snake roleplay. I played Solid Fake. Elon is a government puppet? Pfft, right, for sure, for sure. As if the government could tell any billionaires what to do. If they did, they'd fucking pay taxes. Anyway, I've got 2 books here. I got Fireside Ghost Stories and Campfire Ghost Stories Volume 2. If you recall, this is where I told the story of that kid trying to open a door for like 3 pages. Maybe I could just like flip the pages back and forth for some ambience. How do you think Elon grew his hair back? I don't know, did he lose his hair? I didn't know about that. Your country's police can see this, you know. Can they? Are you sure? It's not as though I stole it. It's just not owned by me. I just drive it. The person who owns it lets me drive it. It's not like I'm just like surreptitiously, secretly driving their van. They don't want to drive it. Elon Musk is secretly working for the Decepticons. Oh, that car he sent into space that was the signal. Oh, it's your first time joining the live stream. I'm so glad you could be with us, J.I., if that is how you pronounce your name. I drive a car that I don't own because I'm male and 18 to 25, so insurance is through the roof. Yeah. Well, that's why your parents usually own, like, your first car. Or, like, they just put you on their car insurance. I don't know. I don't pay car insurance. I'm pretty sure it's theirs. Elon is a Freemason? What the fuck does that mean? He's in the Allspark? Oh my god. Isn't that from the movies? I feel like I'm going to change my name to I Love Foxes. Oh, changing the paradigm. Your main car is basically a pile of rust. Same. My tailpipe fell off because it was covered in rust. Like, it's just holes of rust. It was terrible. It fell off like it was dragging on the ground behind, like it was just dragging on the ground. I pulled over, and through assistance, we just pulled the tailpipe out, and it was like, yeah, it'll still drive fine. It's just noisy. Sucks, but it could be a lot worse. Like at least one of my tires didn't explode while I was driving it. There wasn't a squirrel that like chewed through a wire and stopped it from working. The gas tank didn't have a hole in it. It's still drivable, so that's a godsend. Usually when bad shit happens to my van, it is not drivable. Freemason equals free moonshine. Ooh. Sweet, free drinks. My van is haunted. Oh, it fucking might as well be. Thank you, Lesby. I'm glad you enjoy my audios. The power that they hold. The fuck? Huh. Freemasonry is what controls the world. Isn't that like, that's like, my conspiracy theorist girlfriend audio. Or, my Illuminati, audio. That's fun. You'd never catch me making, like, a Q-themed audio. That shit's too fucking crazy for even me. Remember when, like, conspiracy theories were, like, quaint and fun? Like, oh, man, the Illuminati is full of celebrities and stuff like that, or ooh, there's reptilians, ooh. And then it all just turned into like an apocalyptic cult thing. Yeah, reptile people. You know what? I might do like well, I don't know if I could find a pic crew for that. I probably have to steal someone's artwork. But like a reptile girl, you know what I mean? Just like, you've discovered us. I don't know. There are several ways that could go, and some of them are hilarious. Some of them are like, I don't know, they could get spicy. Don't know about you. I see fanfic potential. Spare blinker fluid? That's not a thing. Even I know that's not a thing. Blinkers use lights. I've replaced the lights before. That's the easy part. Like, of all the difficult things that go on with vehicles and how much they friggin' suck and I hate driving, replacing the lights is like super easy. That's like, you pull a thing and you replace the light. That's pretty simple. Like, it's way easier than like changing the oil or anything like that. You can do that at home. Along with like replacing windshield wipers. Like, you just follow the instructions and that's like super easy. You don't have to take it to a specialist or anything. How do you even send in the scripts? You could email them to me. You could ask me a fun question, Thomas. Sure. My email is in my channel description. I make it no secret. You can email me at any time. I've gotten some weird emails in the past. Although I did recently get an email that was like, I don't have a script to submit. And that was the whole email. And I appreciated their honesty. All secret societies comes from Freemasonry. I don't know. I thought all secret societies came from, like, ancient Greek cults. You know, how people would have, like, they'd have, like, the big, like, ancient Greek religion. It's like the pantheon and shit. And then there would be, like, specific cults for, like, each god. They do crazy stuff. What would I do if I became a giant for a day? That sounds terrible. Like, I guess I'd just stand around to minimize the damage. I'd try to find a nice field to sit in until it went away. That'd be awful. There'd be, like, helicopters buzzing me, and, like, I'd be on the news. It'd be awful. Too much attention. Ugh. You know, I don't do so many giantess audios. I only do, like, I would never write them myself. I only do them if they're commissioned or, like, specifically requested of me by certain people. I got an email asking me to cameo in, like, maybe not cameo, but, like, be in, like, a part of a series that was, like, serious giantess audio. And I was just like, nah, man. Like, I get it. Like, no hate, but it does get a bit too fetishy for me at certain points. So I'm like, well, keep it safe for work. Don't get too weird with it, you know? That's fake Zilla. I could be Godzilla. That'd be a different experience because I'd be a giant monster. Just being a giant person, that's, I don't know, man. Square cube law. My hair dyed? Yes, it is actually. It's half dyed right now. I dyed the bottom half of it blue. You can't really see it, and it's probably gonna fade out and look like seaweed. But you know, I like it right now. It's not bad. You're late for script submissions. You can still do it. There's like 3 days left. It doesn't even have to be good. Just, like, fucking slap something together and just be like, yes, this is writing. Like, most of my scripts, I write them within, like, an hour. And they're not that good. I wrote Yandere Grinch. It's not that good. How many words should be in a script? More than 300, but less than 1,200. You see, you can have more or less. I don't really care. But, like, whenever a script is, like, more than 1,200 words long, I'm just like, ugh. Because I know, like, people want their videos to be, like, 10 minutes long or more, but at the same time, I'm just like, that's going to take forever. And it always does. Every time I've had a script that's, like, ends up being a 10-minute long audio, it takes forever to edit, and, like, it takes up all my spare time for the day. Like, I still gotta work, you know? Scripts are roughly 800 words. That's roughly 10 minutes. It is if you're taking your time. I don't take my time, though. I speak relatively fast, and my editing is kind of slapshot. So an 800-word script would equal about, like, maybe 6 or 7 minutes for me. I know, Max, you're used to working with professionals and people that, like, take their time and, like, build an atmosphere. I don't do that, so it's a lot quicker for me. Did you do a script where you summon the listener as a demon? Didn't I just do that? I mean, they were a familiar, technically, but yeah, I'm not against the idea. Also, I found that Tumblr post that was, like, the reverse murder mystery, who reanimated this corpse. I found it, I reblogged it on my Tumblr, and yes, I'm making a script based on that. Red versus blue. Oh, like the show? All presidents are Freemasons. In, like, which countries, though? Because not every country has presidents. They have, like, prime ministers or, like, emperors and stuff. I don't know. Right, listeners being submissive cat boys. I don't know. That seems pretty professional to me. That's high tier. I'm more of, like, a stay in the safe zone kind of person. Like, if you're getting into words that involve stuff like dominant and submissive, I'm just like, it might be too advanced for me. Fake the living fake Chan. Oh, yeah. Fake Chan. Where's my VTuber avatar? I'd never succeed. My avatar's flat. So, you know. The only way you can really succeed as, like, a VTuber is, like, you know. It's either a big chest or just, like, skimpy clothing. Not that there's anything wrong with that, I'm just not into it. There are emperors that wield power. Oh, there are no emperors. Okay, fine. So we've got prime ministers and presidents, and that's it? Is that what we're going with? How do you feel about reading things that are hilariously bad? I feel that they're hilarious. I don't mind it at all. All countries that have a government is controlled through Freemasonry. Oh, man. What was it? Like, the government is a scam by the government to sell more governments. There are kings in the Middle East. Okay, so there are still countries that are, like, governed by, like, royalty, which is shitty, but, like, it is what it is. Skeletons are what we are inside. Yeah, dude. I love skeletons. There's skeletons on these book covers. They copy-pasted, like... Wait, I just realized, yeah, they didn't just copy-paste it from, like, one cover to the other. They copy-pasted and, like, mirror-imaged the skeleton on the Campfire Ghost Stories Volume 2. Like, look that up if you see the cover. It's just, like, a mirror image of the same skeleton ghost. These books are really shitty. But I bet, like, A.S. Mott, like... He's got to have at least made, like, a decent living off of them. There's so friggin' many of them. Skeleton listener. Ooh. Infinite Clown Machine. Yeah, I stole that from 4chan. Well, 4chan post that I saw. Freemasonry is what they call the old-time religion. It was created before Jesus was born. I don't know. Big assumption that Jesus was ever born, but whatever. I mean, what would the Freemasons even worship? Like, what was the first, like, gods? I thought the first gods, like, that we have recorded history of were, like, the Greek gods, you know? Those are the first that we know of. Or maybe not. There might... I know there's, like, African gods. They might be older. They were the ones that built the pyramids. Oh, for sure. So Egyptians, then. Is Egyptian... I know ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, they were kind of around at the same time. I don't know which, like, came to prominence first. The Freemasons worship bricks. Yeah, that's a good thing. Bricks are solid. They build things. They hold things up. That's pretty good. You have a bent pinky. Oh my god. What's going on? Oh, I don't know. We're talking about, like, Aztecs. The Indus River Valley civilization. Yes, right, from History of the World, I guess. Yeah. Do they have gods? What gods did they have? There's like a fish guy. I don't know. That's like old stuff. After the death of Jesus. Yeah, I know, but that's dumb. Like, they can't even prove that guy was alive. They also burn people who don't eat a brick a day. Wow. Tough rules. Tough but fair. Aliens made bugles since nobody likes pyramids anymore. Yeah, like, seriously. I remember seeing that in a video. Like, the whole, like, ancient aliens theory is, like, we refuse to believe that non-white people could have invented anything, so it had to have been aliens. That show's so shitty. Eat a full wicker swing set every day for my fiber. Wow. The Illuminati worship reason. Which reason? There's lots of reasons. Anyway. I'm gonna flip through this book, see if I find any words. There's a story about the Ghost Hunters, which is a super generic title. I think. Okay, I'm looking at this. Yeah. All the time skip dots are like blood splatters. That's funny. That's really funny. It's the Ghostbusters. Alright. Good night, dude. Go to sleep if it's 1 a.m. You must be tired. Tired of being awake. I'm gonna have a vacation. I took a vacation last week. I was off from work. You know, I used to do it like every 10,000 subscriber goal. I would take like, or maybe it was 5,000, I don't know. I'd take like a few days off. I might need to do that again soon. Like, I know it doesn't really have an appropriate, like... Oh, Max is leaving. Alright, bye, Max. I know it doesn't really have, like, an appropriate, like, point for that. Like, I don't have, like, a reason for it. I'm feeling kind of stuck. Because, I don't know, maybe once I get past editing this audio that I've got going on, I'll figure it out. But, like, for now, I'm feeling a little bit stuck. Worship Satan. You mean that guy from Obey Me? Why would they do that? He's like the fifth brother. He's like not even as powerful as everyone else. I don't know what number he is actually. I forgot. That's a shitty reference, by the way. No one's gonna get that. Have you read English as She Is Spoke? No. All monotheistic religions are forks of Zoroastrianism. Man, that's fucking crazy. Wheel of Fortune with random ideas on it. What is my most and least favorite audio I've ever uploaded? I cannot answer that on the fly. Freddie Mercury was a Zoroastrian. Oh yeah, he was like... I don't know, he was like Middle Eastern, right? I don't know. Worship Netflix's Lucifer. I haven't watched that show. I kind of want to. You know, for people who are fans of characters called Lucifer, it's got to be a huge pain in the ass, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I get it. It's from the Bible. It's super popular. But there's so many characters that are just, like, named after Lucifer. And, like, most of them are just, like, literal, like, versions of the biblical Lucifer. I don't know if he was actually in the Bible. I don't know. It's very confusing. But that's got to be annoying. Like, people are looking for a Lucifer from one series. They get recommended, like, posts from, like, another series. And people who are, like, legitimately trying to look up, like, Lucifer from, like, religion, they're just like, what the fuck is all this anime? All that I've said is backed up by research. Research by who? I don't know, man. I'm sure there was definitely, like, a religion of, like, Freemasons at some point, and there might still even be, where, like, they worship whatever, like, deity or Satan, but who gives a shit? Like, it literally makes no difference. It's like, ooh, there are people who worship a man who was murdered and strung up on a cross, and it's very dark, and in their sacred rituals they drink his blood and eat his body. But like, it sounds really scary, but that's just like Christianity. It's just, it doesn't mean anything. Like, they can do it. It doesn't fucking change anything. They're the ones running the world. Sure they are, buddy. Anyway, the ghost hunters. Is that the place? Doug asked Stephanie, indicating the large broken down estate at the end of the road. He tried to sound cool and nonchalant, but it was obvious that he was excited. This was his first documentation mission with Stephanie and her husband, Jordan, and he couldn't wait to get inside and look for ghosts. Homer was a Freemason. Oh yeah. That was an episode of The Simpsons. Christianity is a cult, changed my mind. Every religion is a cult, like, technically. Speaking on, like, the definition of a cult. Decided to commit arson? I don't need to. Everything's already on fire. That's it, Stephanie nodded. Wooster Mansion. I'm sorry. It's literally called Wooster Mansion. It's like, is fucking Luigi about to investigate this place? Can I bake a cake? Yeah, I've got cake mix. I was gifted some by my aunt. She gave me a bag of cake mix and various icings, and it was pretty decent. Yeah. But you know what? I gotta make, like, banana cake or banana muffins or something. By the way, I make the best banana chocolate chip muffins in the world. And, I gotta make something. I gotta make something with bananas, because I've got, like, a bunch of frozen bananas in my freezer. I just haven't had a chance to, like, make anything with them. Anyway, she grabbed her notebook from her backpack and read aloud from it. It was built around 1926 by a guy named Wilberforce Wooster. Wilberforce? Jordan interrupted. Stephanie shrugged. Don't look at me. I didn't name him. Parents can be cruel, though, huh? I mean, you can just shorten that to Wilbur. His fucking last name was Wooster. Come on. She let Doug and Jordan agree with her before she continued. So anyway, he built this place for his family after moving here from New York, which apparently they weren't too happy about. I don't blame them, Doug sympathized. I wouldn't be too happy if I had to move from the big city to the most boring place on earth. Doug had lived in Terryville for 3 years now. His family had moved there when he was 15, and he considered meeting Stephanie and Jordan the only remotely interesting thing to have happened to him in that time. Okay, so Doug is 18. What's he doing hanging out with this, like, married couple? The fuck? Is he, like, their intern? Maybe banana bread batter like it's ice cream? Ugh, I don't know. It's not that good. Banana ice cream is rare. I hear it's more common in Japan, I think. I don't know. I could be wrong. You know what isn't common, though? Purple ice cream. I go to the grocery store, I see ice cream containers that have purple on them. But the ice cream itself is not purple. Get me some of that shit. Strangely, given how small the town was, his first encounter with them wasn't in person, but on the internet. Long fascinated by the world of the supernatural, he had spent an idle Sunday searching for websites about ghosts on his dad's computer. Oh man. Hold up. Yep, this was written in 2003. What a concept. The family computer that's, like, in the living room or in the kitchen. Yeah, we had that. Good times. Although I did have a laptop. It was a Fujitsu touchscreen laptop, and it was bitchin' for playing Roller Coaster Tycoon on. Chocolate ice cream is vile. I don't know, it's not that bad. It's not my first choice, though. I'd never go out of my way to buy it. Purely by chance, one of the sites he came across was the one run by Stephanie and Jordan. On it, he found hundreds of photos taken in old and abandoned buildings, as well as better-maintained historical sites. No matter the locale, each photo had one thing in common. An orb. Oh my god, orbs? Really? One of the floating balls of light that many believe are the wandering souls of the dead, also known as dust flying in front of the camera lens. Come on. Why? Why? Somebody sent me a script. Okay. I'll read that later. Oh, that's right. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th. How fun. Anyway. Doug became excited when he This is all one paragraph. That's all one paragraph. Doug became excited when he realized that the people who had taken these pictures lived in the same town he did. Many of the pictures were taken in buildings he had walked past many times, and it thrilled him to learn that he had been right all along when he had suspected that they were haunted. As soon as he had finished exploring every page the site had to offer, he sent the couple an email with his phone number in it and urged them to call him the next time they went to document a house. 2 days later, he found himself on the phone with Stephanie, a charming woman who turned out to be only 6 years older than he was. She invited him to come along with them for their trip through the Wooster mansion, and he eagerly accepted. Okay. I don't know, man. What fucking 24-year-olds want to hang out with an 18-year-old? What you doing? Premium ice cream stores. Really? I don't think I've ever been to one. Okay. A young couple just out of university, Stephanie and Jordan had come together when they discovered that they shared all the same obsessions. Both were dedicated to the scientific analysis of the supernatural and to British science fiction TV shows of the 1970s. Okay, so they watched Doctor Who, and figuring that few people could ever be more compatible, they got married and settled in Jordan's hometown, where they commuted to the big city for their day jobs. Stephanie worked as a researcher for a marketing firm, and Jordan managed one of New York's largest comic book stores. Despite the long hours they spent at work, they still managed to find time to devote to their website, their greatest passion. Every weekend they gathered up their equipment and found some new place to explore, and then carefully documented what they found on their website. When they got Doug's email message, they were thrilled to find someone in Terryville who understood their zeal, and they happily invited him to join them. Take a shot every time I say Wooster? That sounds dangerous. You want pure banana ice cream. Oh, does it have nuts in it? I hate that. I've gone on rants about this before. Anytime I try to eat like a baked good and there's nuts in it, I want to die. Why do people do that? It ruins everything. Real ASMR. No, Real ASMR is the second channel. I can't recommend you sub to it. I don't update it very often. I should, though. I've got ideas. What the hell is this exposition? I don't fucking know. This is badly written. It's a long story. Oh well. I'll try to get through it quickly. Stephanie continued to read from her notebook. In fact, his kids were so mad about moving to Terryville, they actually plotted to kill him. Really? Asked Doug, unaware that anything so macabre could actually happen in Terryville. How old were they? In their 20s and 30s, I think. Doug snorted. Okay, snort. Very unattractive sound. Nuts, fudge, anything. Who's putting fudge in banana ice cream? That sounds nasty. Why didn't they just stay in New York then? According to what I found on the net, Wilberforce insisted his family be with him wherever he went, and he threatened to disinherit anyone who left him. What a freak, laughed Jordan. Yeah, Stephanie agreed. I'm surprised he lasted as long as he did. Everyone lived here for 3 years before they finally killed him. How'd they do it? Asked Doug. I'm not sure. I checked everywhere I could, and it appears that no one ever found his body. They managed to get rid of it somehow, which is why no one was ever charged for the crime. Did they get his money? Asked Jordan. Actually, they didn't. Because they couldn't find his body, they had to wait before they could declare him legally dead. During that time, all his investments began to fail, and when they were finally able to start divvying everything up, there was nothing left to divvy. All that was left was the house, which they tried to sell, but no one would buy it. Undead Clown Girl challenges you to a rap battle? What? What happened to them? Asked Doug. I don't know, Stephanie admitted. They just left, I guess. The place has sat empty for close to 70 years. It belongs to the city now, but they don't seem to have any plans for it. It's a pity when you think about it. This place would make a wonderful museum. Doug pretended to ponder this before he grinned and clapped his hands together. So are you guys ready? He asked them, infecting them with his giddiness. They smiled and nodded, grabbed their cameras and bags and followed him as he practically ran towards the old house. When he got to the front door, he stopped and waited impatiently for them to join him. Come on, he shouted. They aren't getting any deader. Jordan and Stephanie both laughed. Doug's enthusiasm reminded them of the way they had acted when they had first started, and it made what was a standard trip for them into something special. They hurried their pace and joined him at the front door. How do we get in? Asked Doug. That depends, Jordan answered. Have you tried opening the door? Doug looked at him doubtfully before he tried turning the doorknob. It was rusty and stubborn, but wasn't locked, and the heavy door swung open. That was easy, said Doug. Are abandoned houses usually left open for anyone to get in? Almost never, Stephanie answered. But it doesn't hurt to try, Jordan added. Yeah, usually there's like, I don't know, squatters? Squatters, that's a thing, right? I don't know, man. I'm gonna skim over this. This is boring. They'd be walking through the house. It's kind of spooky. Wait, what the fuck? No data. What the hell just happened? Am I losing connection with you guys? Yeah, don't do that. That's annoying. This is the single worst story I've heard of. Wow. And you follow my channel. Okay. That's weird, remarked Jordan. What? Places like this are almost always empty, and when they're not, all you can find are things people couldn't be bothered to take with them. Stephanie agreed. This stuff is way too nice to just leave behind. Yeah, man. Thieves should have cleaned this place out decades ago. They got a point. It must be haunted. Clearly you have not heard the story of the Yandere Grinch. Oh, yes. Yandere Grinch. Bam. Bam. So yeah, they're shocked that everything is still totally normal. They take him pictures, but Doug sat down on a couch because he's bored and he hears a moan. He's just like, oh, is it my stomach? And then it was muffled and muted, but as he listened, he could hear what sounded like someone trying to speak. Get out. I'm sorry if that sounded very rough. I can't do spooked. Spook. You've been spooked. I spooked you. Anyway, all the blood drained from Doug's face. And, like... it's saying, like, get out over and over again. He's like, it's coming from the sofa. And they don't believe him. And then... Stephanie rolled her eyes. Very funny, Doug. What'd you do? Hide a tape recorder down there? He shook his head slowly, but that wasn't enough to stop her from walking over to the sofa and flipping up the cushion. No, don't flip the cushions! A flash of nauseating green light instantly overtook the room. It stank of decades' worth of rot and decay. With it, the voice spoke once again, but now freed from the muffling effects of the sofa's cushion. The ghost was trapped in the sofa, by the way. It was much louder and easier to understand. Get out! It bellowed at them with heart-stopping fury before the light vanished as quickly as it had appeared. All three of them screamed and immediately ran for the door. Before they could reach it, it swung itself shut with a heavy slam and a deafening click. Okay, the door's locked. They can't get it open. If he wanted them to get out, then why'd he lock the fucking door? It's the fart of the ghost. It's the curse of Wooster. You can't do that, Doug ranted. You can't tell people to get out and then make it impossible for them to leave. And then all of a sudden outside, like a storm's rolling in. Oh my god, okay. So they're just like... Doug's just like, you guys are the experts. You've done this hundreds of times. We've never done this before, Jordan disagreed. And they're just like, we take pictures of floating spheres of light. And that's something we've never seen before. That's like a real ghost or something. Now more disillusioned than afraid, Doug rolled his eyes. Some ghost hunters you guys turned out to be. Come on, this guy's 18, not 12. The ghost really pulled a get the fuck out of my room, I'm playing Minecraft. We gotta get out of here somehow. And we're not doing it by shivering in a corner. Okay, so the 18-year-old turns out to be the badass here. Okay, so they come across photos of the Woosters. Wow, are these guys ugly or what? Marveled Doug, as he looked at a picture of Wilberforce's youngest daughter, Eunice. And Jordan's like, shut the fuck up, they might hear you. They hear a dripping sound as they're going up the staircase. Oh shit, it's Eunice. Caught the sight of Eunice's unattractive face as it hovered 3 feet off the ground. Blood dripped from her neck onto the floor as she hissed at him in the now familiar phrase, "Get out!" Doug screamed a scream so shrill a 5-year-old girl would have had difficulty topping it. Amazing. So they run down. They're in the house. Spooky stuff is happening. Eunice, I'm trying my best. Yeah, so apparently Eunice got friggin' beheaded. Probably for her ugly face. What was that song? U-G-L-Y, you ain't got no alibi, you ugly. Amazing. What are our options? Jordan asked his wife. Well, we've got to find a way to get out of here, which means either we leave him here by himself or one of us stays with him while the other searches around. I don't think we can leave him by himself, answered Jordan. Okay, then one of us will stay with him. Who's going to search for a way out of here? Yeah, okay, Doug, he got hit in the head. He's, loopy now. What the fuck? Chat disconnected? Why? We had so much to live for. What the fuck is wrong with this computer? Actually, the other day when I went to restart it, I tried to open a file and then everything went super zoomed in and then it was the screen was in 4:3. Anyway, I reset the computer and it stopped doing that, but that was weird. You know that video of, like, that dude with, like, he's like, what the fuck? When he tries to, like, get out of a program and then everything goes crazy. It was like that. Except not as funny. You gotta work. I'm sorry, Freefall. I'm so sorry. Sucks. I gotta work too. And very soon. In a very soon amount of time. Anyway. Okay, Stephanie loses a coin toss, so she has to go explore the house by herself. So, she glared at him, I guess you'll stay with him while I, your dainty and defenseless young bride, will walk around this haunted mansion and try to find a way for us to get out of here. Why don't you just break a window? Uh-huh, Jordan agreed. You sure you can handle it? If Jordan heard the withering sarcasm in his wife's question, he chose to ignore it. So Stephanie's pissed. She goes back up the staircase. She gets to the top. The ghost isn't there anymore. She points her flashlight towards the dark upstairs hallway. And there's 6 closed doors. 3 on the left and 3 on the right. She's going to explore the rooms. And she finds Wilberforce's bedroom. A huge canopy bed dominated its center and would have been the focus of attention if not for the huge marble fireplace that took up almost the entire left wall. Above its mantel was another portrait of Wilberforce, but this one showed an older man than the one she had seen downstairs. Remembering her reason for being there, she walked over to the room's window and tried to open it. It wouldn't budge, and when she threw a heavy ashtray at it, it vanished right before it hit the glass. Are you fucking kidding me? That's amazing. I don't know, what, if she tried to kick the window to break it, would her foot vanish? Then she tries to climb up the fireplace. And then the door slams shut behind her. Terrified, she began to scream and pound on it with her fists. "Be quiet!" a voice shouted at her from inside the room. Stephanie's heart skipped a beat, and she slowly turned towards the room. It was still empty. She pointed her flashlight at everything she could in a frantic search to locate the source of the voice, but she found nothing. "I am up here." Oh no, oh no. The ghost is like actively talking to them now. This is like the one thing that always like really prevents this guy's stories from actually being scary. Stephanie followed the sound and looked up. She saw the words were coming from the portrait of Wilberforce Wooster. She shines the flashlight on it. "Do you mind?" Wilberforce sniffed. "The light is shining in my eyes." "Oh, sorry," Stephanie replied. "It's literally a talking fucking painting. Come on." It was still made of oil paint, but it moved as if it were animated. Fucking Harry Potter style? Come on. "Why are you here?" Wilberforce demanded. "We just came to take some pictures and explore a bit." "Why? To steal from me?" "No, just to see if we could find some ghosts." "Well, if that is the case, why do you look so frightened? You have found what you were searching for after all." "You weren't the kind of ghosts we were looking for. What other kind are there?" "Orbs?" She mumbled weakly. "Excuse me?" "Floating balls of light that only appear on film." Wilberforce pondered this for a moment before he exploded in a burst of laughter. Oil paint tears began to fall down his cheeks as he doubled over, holding it onto his stomach. "That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard." Stephanie frowned and crossed her arms. She's like having an argument with this fucking talking painting. "I'm sorry," he said. "I did not mean to offend you. I suppose everyone needs a hobby." "Look, make fun of us if you want," Stephanie replied. "Just explain to me why all you ghosts keep screaming at us to get out, but you won't let us leave." "Ah," Wilberforce smiled. "The mistake you have made is assuming we are all of the same mindset. The ghosts you have encountered who are intent on seeing you go are the spirits of my children, who want you to leave before you discover the truth about this house. I, on the other hand, am responsible for keeping you here. I cannot let you leave until the truth is exposed. His body's under the house. Like, don't get fucking cute with me. They buried his body under the house. Like, there's no surprise here. This was scary until this painting conversation. Yeah. No shit. I was murdered, but my body was never found. Find out what happened to it, and I'll let you go. You should know that my children will do all they can to stop you from finding out, and yeah. And then his portrait smiled and froze back into place. Great. So she goes back down the stairs to go see Doug and Jordan, but they're gone. They've disappeared. She calls for them, and she tries to go back into Wilberforce's bedroom, but she stopped when she saw who was standing in front of his door. It was the skeletal remains of his oldest son, Winthrop. How do you know it's him if it's skeletal remains? He was identifiable by the 3 rings he wore on his bony index finger, the same rings they had noticed in his portrait earlier. Lame. Sounds like some shitty Skyrim quest. Yeah, this does sound like a Skyrim quest, doesn't it? Like, this is total Bethesda logic. Like, you go into an old creepy haunted house to, like, get some item or whatever. You get locked in there, and then a talking painting tells you to go find out who murdered them by discovering their body in the basement. Meanwhile, you got to avoid a bunch of ghosts and shit. And yeah, this is a video game quest. He lacked the ability to speak because all he could manage was the deep and threatening hiss, but despite this, his message was clear. Okay. He moved towards her. Okay, he's about to attack her, but she heard a loud thud, followed by a louder one. She opened her eyes and saw her husband in front of her holding a large candlestick. At her feet were Winthrop's body and the dusty remains of his skull. You can beat up a ghost with physical attacks? That's not how that works. Also, where the fuck were they? Where'd you guys go? We followed you up here and started exploring the other rooms, but we couldn't find a way to get out. You're not going to, Stephanie informed him. Hold on, I gotta turn on the light. The sun's setting. Annoying. Okay, so she explains to them the painting shit. She's like... It's like the painting moved like it was alive? Stephanie nodded. That's it, swore Doug. I am never going into another haunted house. Ever, ever again. They can throw hands with a ghost. I guess so. They need to solve the mystery. So they're gonna do that. Why was that one girl, why was she beheaded, though? I don't, what? Okay. Now think about it, Jordan continued. These guys were rich, and what's the last thing rich people want to deal with? A mess. The last thing they would want to do is clean up a lot of blood and guts and all the other stuff that comes with shooting, stabbing, or clubbing someone to death. They would want something that was clean and easy. Poison. Exactly. So what do? Find the poison? You got a better idea? Over the next hour, the 3 of them searched the house for anything that could be considered poisonous. Man, that's fucking lame. Why was that dude a skeleton? I have no fucking clue. So what, the family all murdered him and then died in the same house? This is a bad Scooby-Doo episode, you're right. Okay. Oh, they tried the basement where they were met by the floating white apparition of Wilberforce's middle daughter, Mildred. She screamed at them something fierce, but by now the trio's fear had turned to annoyance and they ignored the shouting ghost and searched the musty cellar for anything toxic. I think they found the toxic person right there. It's Mildred. Man, that's pretty fucking lame. They're just like, oh, we just have to solve the mystery and like these guys are just ghosts and they can't really do anything, so we're not scared anymore. Like this, like these are like the least scary ghost stories ever. And I've read ghost stories where the entire point was that it was supposed to be a romance with a ghost, and they were scarier than this. You host a D&D session? I've never played D&D. It's not gonna happen. Was this intended to be spooky? I don't know, man. It's a ghost story. You'd think. But then again, this is like, they say like chilling tales to share by the fire. They're scary and sometimes heartwarming, but this is just boring. Would you smooch a ghost? Fuck yes, if they existed. Oh my god. So they searched through Eunice's room. It was frilly feminine room with yellow lace attached to almost everything in it. Dolls sat throughout the room and furniture and stared at them while they searched. Fucking dolls. If the dolls attack them, I'm gonna be so happy. They found a small brown bottle, but the label's so faded I can't make out what it is. So it could be poison or it could be cough syrup. How many people hide bottles of cough syrup in boxes in their closets? My cousin Steven, Doug answered, but we're not supposed to talk about it. All right, that's pretty good. Man. That's the best part of the whole story. So they take it with them. They move on to Winthrop's room. His room was much more sparsely decorated and reflected someone with a somber and serious philosophy. Okay. So they find an empty pot on his dresser and they're just like, this could be something. What if this at some point contains some deadly plant or herb or root or something? It would have died by now, but think about it. How many guys as boring as this would bother to keep a plant in their room? Well, my cousin Steven, Doug began before he was silenced by a dirty look from Stephanie. I want a book about Doug's cousin Steven. This guy knows how to party. In a dresser drawer in Mildred's room, they found a small metal box filled with little white pills. They debated whether they could be potentially fatal narcotic or really old mints. I don't know, man. I think any pill from back in the day could kill you. If you ate a mint from 100 years ago, you'd probably die. Steven sounds like more fun than whatever they're doing. Mattress frames are overrated. No, they're not. Keeps it from building up like mildew underneath the mattress. It's a good idea to have like a frame, like a bed frame. Also, if you get like a good one from like IKEA, like I did, it's got like, it'll have like drawers underneath it for storage. Yes. I have lots of storage. I use it to keep my various extra fabrics in. Hello, Mexican weeb. Anyway. There's a powerful odor in the next room they entered, which made it clear it belonged to the first ghost they encountered. According to the diary Jordan found, his name was Brewster. Oh! Brewster Wooster, marveled Doug. Sometimes I think this Wilberforce guy deserved to be killed. Wait a minute, I think I found something. Oh, bye, Manuel. I'm sorry, but when I think of Brewster, I just think of, like, the coffee shop guy from Animal Crossing. It's spelled the same way, like brew, like Brewster. I didn't even know that was, like, a real name. They found some white powder in a box under his bed, okay. And then they go to the last room belonging to the youngest son, Desmond. Who the fuck is texting me? Look for meteor showers tonight. Okay. I doubt I'll see them. I'm in the city. Alright. Oh, and then they found a suit that was covered in ash. So... they think they figured it out. They go back to the portrait. Oh man, everybody's going to bed. Watch some meteor shower, pervert. Oh shit, you got me. Mr. Wooster, are you there? The sound of thunder cracked loudly as they waited for an answer. Behind them, the room's door swung shut with a heavy slam, and the old man in the painting yawned. So it has to be a private conversation. They're just like, we think your kids poisoned you. We searched their rooms and we found these. We can't prove what any of them are, but they're all suspicious, and we found this. We think he was wearing this when he put you into the fireplace and cremated your remains. You think? That's not good enough, the painting bellowed at them. I need to know. But all these could be poisons, Doug protested. Any one of them could have done it. There's no way for us to know. I have to know. Okay. Then Doug's like thinking to himself, I got it, he shouted. They all hated you, he said to the painting, right? Yes, and all these could be poisons, right? So you say. Then what if they're all poisons? What if they all tried to kill you? Jordan looked doubtful. At the same time, what are the chances of that? Dude, Doug rolled his eyes. You're standing in front of a moving painting, all of them coincidentally poisoning him on the same day isn't that huge of a stretch. Yeah, it is. Also, why wouldn't they have teamed up to do that? Why is that painting talking? It's fucking haunted, bro. Homie got Augustus. Oh my god. Wilberforce's portrait thought about this. Those buffoons all did think alike. It isn't inconceivable that they would all try to kill me at the same time. In fact, it would shock me if it were otherwise. I am satisfied, he finally decided, allowing them to exhale with relief. You may go. Thank God. Doug sighed. I was afraid if we stayed any longer, Desmond would come out of somewhere and do what his siblings couldn't. I probably shouldn't have said that, Doug admitted. In front of them, a howling wind formed inside the fireplace. The ashes inside it swirled and joined together and took the shape of a young, angry-looking man. Oh man, Sandman! Where is Steven? He'll save us. Okay, yeah. He looks pissed. But he is still just a ghost made of ash, so what are you gonna do? So they run out of the house. So, like, nothing happens to them, they just run. The three of them ran to their car and jumped into it and drove away as fast as the floor pedal would take them. When at last they felt they had traveled a safe distance, they slowed down and rode silently back towards their homes. No one said a word during the drive. Jordan and Stephanie dropped Doug off at his house, where in the rain he dropped down on his knees and kissed the sidewalk. They drove away and he went inside and threw away all his books about the supernatural. Now that he'd seen the real thing, they weren't that interesting. Jordan and Stephanie had the same reaction. As they drove home, they agreed that was the last time they would ever go into a haunted house. I mean, as far as haunted house movies go, that wasn't even that bad. Like, they got scared by a few ghosts, which was it was spooky, but they saw like a talking painting. If anything, that would like reinforce my interest in the supernatural. Like, yeah, they're scary, but they don't really fucking do anything. So yeah, I'd just be fascinated. I would want to research more. Are you saying you'd screw around with more haunted houses? I would be more cautious going into haunted houses, but I would definitely want to do more research about it. Like, this proves that, like, life after death is possible. Come on. I agree, I'm a little goblin lady. The last thing I am is little. When they got home, they went to their computer and left a message explaining to their loyal online followers that their website would be closing, and that they were going to pursue a new endeavor, which would probably have something to do with the 70s British science fiction that they loved. Okay, Doctor Who fan site. Not a bad idea in 2003. When did the Doctor Who revival come out? I think they've got a good thing going there. As they began to dismantle their site, they took one last look at all the photographs they had taken over the years. "Do you think they're really ghosts?" Jordan asked his wife as they sat together and pondered a photograph they had taken on their very first mission. In it, 2 large and vibrant orbs floated above the mantelpiece of a grand decaying fireplace. They'd always considered it their best picture, and had used it on their website as the one piece of photographic evidence skeptics would find hardest to dispute. I don't know, man. 2005. So this book came out in 2003. So yeah, them starting a Doctor Who fan site in 2003 just before the revival comes out, that's a great idea. That's smart. They're on the cutting edge. Stephanie took some time before she answered him. She thought about what the cranky old ghost in the oil painting had said to her after he had wiped away his tears of laughter. "Does it matter?" she finally answered Jordan. "Everyone needs a hobby," and she smiled as they deleted the file from their hard drive. They sure were pretty. And that's the end of the story. That really sucked. Like, as soon as the painting started talking to them, I was just like, okay, I think I wrote a story like this when I was like 12. I might even be able to find it if I tried. I remember writing a story about these friends that go into a haunted house, and then just like some ghost talks to them, and they're kind of chill with it afterwards. It was bad, and so was this. We'd be getting more out of the page flipping noises. Let's try to double up. Let's see if I can double hand page flip 2 books at once. That's really hard to hold. It'd be better if it wasn't in a scary book collection. The campfire ghost stories aren't much better. I mean, campfire ghost stories is where the story about the kid trying to open the door forever was. Let's see. Let's read the back of this book. That sounds purposefully bad, though. Yeah, I mean, coming up with like 13 stories to fit one book. I don't envy him this task. Okay. So the back of the book is like, whether read alone or shared with others, these dramatized tales are sure to send a chill up your spine. And then it's got like a list of various stories, like, an argumentative pair of ghosts must learn to coexist when the circumstances of their deaths force them to spend eternity together. That one, I remember actually liking that one. A boy spending an idyllic time with his loving grandmother has a shocking realization about his endless summer. I think we read that together. 3 amateur ghost hunters find a lot more than they bargained for when they explore a desolate mansion. Shortly after becoming blind, an aging man sees the truth about a woman from his past. With the help of a ghostly doctor, a recovering cancer patient is able to survive a dangerous situation. Unable to communicate after suffering a stroke, an elderly grandfather cannot warn his family about the dark phantom intent on breaking them apart. Stephen carried the book on his back. Oh yeah. Simp for Stephen. We stan Stephen. The ghost of two hockey players dominate the last game of a championship series. What? A police detective investigating a homicide is stumped by gruesome evidence of superhuman power. A survivor of a shipwreck is shocked to learn the true identity of the woman who saved him and brought him to a deserted island. I'm going to spoil that one for you. You know who it is? You know who the woman who saved him and brought him to the deserted island was? It's Amelia Earhart. That's who it is. Gather around. Enjoy these fireside ghost stories. Man, I should be a published author. This is so bad. Like, A.S. Mott is, like, not great, but I respect him. I legit respect him for making a career out of this. Amelia Earhart is secretly a sea witch confirmed. Wasn't she eaten by, like, coconut crabs? Bad way to die. Fireside stories for when an author is feeling burnt out. I don't know, I feel like I've read the foreword of this before. Through movies, books, and television shows, I've had years of exposure to pop culture's interpretation of ghosts and monsters. It is because of this exposure that I find little about these supposedly frightening creatures to be frightening. That would explain a lot. Instead, I am made anxious by the more real and mundane dangers of life. Oh my god, yeah, facts. In fact, there are only a handful of characters in this book whom I would describe as evil, as the suspense and tension comes not from acts of malicious intent, but rather incidents of random disaster. The result of this is, I think, a book that is both thrilling and scary, but in a strange way, comforting as well. The stories seem to suggest that it really is darkest before the dawn, and that all it takes to be brave is a little patience and faith. Whether this is true or not is a subject that can easily be debated. I suggest that, as this book's actual title suggests, you sit down in a comfortable chair in front of a nice fire and decide for yourself. That's ridiculous. So bad, it's almost good. Warriors RP in the Barnes & Noble reviews? No, but that doesn't surprise me. Describes the entire modern horror film industry? Yeah. Oh man, it says in the acknowledgements that he ended up stealing a lot of character names from his family because he couldn't come up with ones on his own. I guess in 2003, name generator websites weren't all that common. I mean, these are like the most like basic ass white people names like in every story. You got names like Garrison, Al, Gina, George, Joshua, Lawrence, Hank. We don't all have fireplaces. Just like put one on the TV. Anyway, that was boring. I'm not going to do this again. Unless I really want to do like the Amelia Earhart story, because that one is super funny. I'm going to keep it real. Who the fuck names their kid Garrison? I don't know. People who are bad. Anything can be a fireplace with the right attitude. Yes. Correct. You got it. Anyway. I'm gonna dip out. I gotta go to work. What's the name of the book? Fireside Ghost Stories by A.S. Mott. Who the fuck dares? Oh man, you did not need to send me this email. All the information on Freemasonry. Please do your own research. Come on, man. Oh yeah, you gonna do your own research? You gonna look through like actual historical record and shit, or are you just gonna look up some shitty conspiracy website? Oh man. Freemasons are the ones that control everything, from Hollywood to governments. Ah, yes, Hollywood. It's so in charge of the world with its movie making. They are the ones that created the wars. All wars were created by Freemasons. They scare the people. That's how they gain control. Oh man, my ass. Everyone's like, oh, there's a secret society in charge of everything. The government can't keep secrets worth a damn. You think the fucking secret society's got a chance? Get out of here. That's so funny. Anyway, I'm gonna leave. Like the people who do stuff with rocks? Yeah. Alright, I'm out. This is really funny though. Thanks for sending me this. Never do this again. Alright. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.